Low testosterone is a surprisingly easy fix when you just have the right tools in your tool belt. And I'm gonna get to those tools in just a second here, but I do wanna clarify something. If you have any of the low testosterone symptoms, brain fog, scattered attention, low libido, lack of motivation, and you can't burn fat or build muscle easy, even though you think that you're eating the right things and you're training the right way, it's pretty normal. Most men that I speak to on a daily basis go through the same thing, but that's because they don't understand how simple the solution is. And that's exactly what this video is gonna be about. Also, I should mention that this video is not going to be some magic pill. You are going to be challenged and you're gonna have to put in some work if you wanna get results. If you wanna 4x your testosterone, same way that I've done it, then you have to be willing to put in hard work and sacrifice. So if that sounds disgusting to you and you couldn't be bothered, that's cool. I'm not hating on it. You just might not be ready for the transformation that I'm gonna be able to help you get by the end of this video. All right, for those of you who are still here, I'm gonna break down for you in this video how I took my testosterone from 361 to over 1,000, specifically 1369 nanograms per deciliter, naturally in under 10 months. So that's approximately like a 4x increase right there. So if you wanna do the same, I'm gonna break down the 5 pillars that you need to implement if you want to get these results. All you have to do is apply the exact method that I give you in this video. And I can guarantee that your testosterone is gonna minimum double, depending on wherever you're starting at. I would say 4x like me, but that's not always guaranteed. I don't want to make any false promises to you guys, okay? So I'm gonna be breaking down these 5 core pillars in order from worst to best, meaning least impact on your testosterone to the most impact on your testosterone. Let's get started. Pillar 1, stimulant detox. Estimated increase 5 to 10%, 15 to 50 nanograms per deciliter. Let's start with the most basic, yet most overlooked for some reason. I used to need 400 milligrams of caffeine to just feel normal in my day. Not to thrive, literally just to function. And I thought I had an energy problem, but what I actually had was a false fire problem. Caffeine doesn't give you energy. It masks fatigue by blocking your adenosine receptors, which is basically your brain's chill out signal. Over time, that constant override is gonna spike cortisol and it's gonna ruin your testosterone. Your body's not stupid. It's much smarter than you think. If you're in constant fight or flight, it's gonna down-regulate and produce less of the hormones that it needs to be strong, clear-minded, and focused. Now, I'm not telling you to quit caffeine because I didn't do that myself, but I'm telling you that it's important to respect caffeine for what it's actually utilized for. Just make sure that you delay it 90 to 120 minutes after waking up so that it doesn't mess with your circadian rhythm. Just cut out the energy drinks and stick to organic black coffee, add some butter, some Sheet Legit, and a little bit of cinnamon in there. I post about this all the time on my Instagram as to why I do that, so go check out my Instagram if you want to figure out why I do that. Don't drink caffeine after 2 p.m. because caffeine has a pretty decent half-life. So if you drink 200 milligrams of caffeine at 2 p.m., in 6 hours from now, there's still gonna be 100 milligrams left in your system, which is basically gonna be interrupting your sleep, if that makes sense. First thing every morning, you should always focus on hydration. Water, if you don't have electrolyte solutions, squeeze a lemon, have a little bit of salt in there, and you'll be good. And if you wanna gamify this, track your low stimulant days. Start with 2 per week and then build off of that. Every clean day where you don't rely on caffeine, you give yourself 1 point. When you hit 10 points, then you unlock the next level. Pillar number 2, dopamine reset. Estimated increase 10 to 15%, 50 to 100 nanograms per deciliter. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most men don't have low testosterone because of their age. They have low T because they've destroyed their dopamine system. As a man, you're supposed to earn your dopamine through friction, stress, pursuit, and progress. But instead, nowadays, you're getting all the highs of life through the little glowing rectangle that you carry around with you in your pocket. Porn, TikTok, DoorDash, fake intimacy, fake productivity, fake purpose. And when the dopamine is fake, your testosterone stays dormant. Your brain says to yourself, we've already won. Why chase anything else? But testosterone is the fuel for the chase. So no chase, less testosterone. The fastest path to resetting your dopamine is just going cold turkey. Whether you think you can or not, I promise you, it's a lot easier than you might be imagining it to be in your mind. Cut out all the time that you waste on your phone. No porn, no TikTok, no scrolling on your phone past midnight. Just do 1 full day per week of no digital dopamine. Just write down what you're feeling inside when you are away from your phone and see how you're actually reacting so that you can learn and grow from it. And you have to replace these digital rewards that you were were once getting with more painful and physical-based rewards. Cold exposure is a good one, lifting more intensely, and delaying your gratification. Create a dopamine scorecard for yourself. Each day without porn, give yourself 10 points. Each morning you don't scroll, that's 5 points. 100 points equals you've officially achieved a new dopamine baseline. Within 14 days, when I did this, my mental clarity increased absurdly. My sex drive increased drastically, and most importantly, I actually felt like I was sharp again in my head. And it's all because I just stopped overstimulating my entire body and my mind. Because quite frankly, it was numbing me, and it's probably numbing you from the inside out. Pillar number 3 is sleep optimization. Estimated increase 20 to 25%, 100 to 200 nanograms per deciliter. This one isn't sexy, but it's foundational. And if you skip it, you are setting yourself up for major failure. You quite literally build testosterone in the different stages of your sleep. I know most men, including myself, the past version of me, thought that it was cool if I just got 7 hours of sleep, I'd be good then. This couldn't be farther from the truth. Think about it this way. If you spend those 7 hours in your sleep sweating because you have a high core body temperature, because you just ate food before you went to bed, and then as a byproduct of that, you're still digesting that food while you're sleeping. So your body is actually digesting rather than recovering. So you're basically renting sleep for 7 hours rather than owning it. Now, testosterone production primarily happens in deep sleep and REM sleep, specifically between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. if your sleep cycles are on par with your proper circadian rhythm. And studies show that just one night per week of less than 5 hours of sleep can decrease your testosterone by 15%. I dialed in my recovery as if a pro athlete would, and this is how you gotta view yourself. 68 to 72 degrees when you're sleeping. Blackout curtains. No phone 60 minutes before bed. Final meal of the day should be 3+ hours before sleeping. Magnesium glycinate plus L-theanine plus electrolytes before bed. Red lights only in your house after sunset. Breath work and stretching directly before sleep, probably 10 to 15 minutes beforehand. Within 2 weeks of just doing this, my sleep wasn't just better. I was waking up with morning wood again, which directly means that this is working if it ends up doing that for you. And I didn't have morning wood for months prior to doing this. I was alert and clear every morning that I woke up, and I was ready to build my life forward. That's a sign that your endocrine system is finally doing its job. Pillar number 4, nutritional recode. Estimated increase 25 to 35%, 150 to 300 nanograms per deciliter. This is where the game changed for me. Most men are eating to stay lean rather than to produce power in their life. Your hormones are made up of cholesterol, fats, and minerals, not oats, whey protein, and broccoli. And I learned this the hard way. I was eating clean, tracking my macros, and my testosterone was somehow still 300. How does that go? I thought I was doing everything right. It's because I wasn't eating ancestrally. I was eating like a calorie counting robot. So I overhauled my entire nutritional game plan. 6 to 10 pasture-raised eggs per day. Grass-fed steak or beef, preferably grass-fed, grass-finished if you can get your hands on it, 1 to 2 times per day. Raw milk plus raw honey daily. Healthy sea salt on all your food. No seed oils. And organic fruit over processed carbs. You can literally build yourself a 21-day ancestral eating calendar. Do everything that I just said above for 21 straight days, and you won't recognize yourself in the best way possible. Your strength will go up, you will lose a shit ton of fat, and you will be building muscle faster than you've ever been able to build it because your hormones are actually going to become balanced again. You got to see your body as a machine, and if you're not feeding your machinery the right gasoline or oil, you could say, then you're just feeding it chaos, and that's why you feel chaotic. Does that make sense? Pillar 5, masculine alignment. Estimated increase 50 to 100%, 300 to 500 plus nanograms per deciliter. This is the one nobody talks about, and I mean nobody, because it's not a supplement, it's not a diet plan, it's not a workout. It is how you live as a man. Your testosterone is a biological response to your role in the world. Just think about hunters and gatherers for a second here. Why were they always more jacked, more smart, and more focused than maybe people who were living in the village? Because they needed to be. Biologically, they unlocked something within inside of themselves because they knew that they had to be the ones to provide the food for the village. And if they weren't able to do that, then everyone suffered. That's why they had much higher testosterone, they had more muscle, they looked more jacked, and they were probably feeling pretty fucking good. Now, if your days are constantly the same redundant feelings of chaos, overstimulation, and reactiveness, why would your body fuel and feed the right chemicals so that you can be at peak performance? Those two ideas are gonna collide constantly. And that's why your body just gives you enough to survive and keep going, but not enough to thrive. So the solution to this is installation of order, mission, and structure. You just gotta give your biology a reason to optimize itself. And the best way you could do that is to start leading your life and the people around you, especially if you have family and kids that you need to take care of, instead of being so reactive. Simple things you can do every single day. Morning prayer, sunlight walk in the morning, plus journaling. Get rid of every single environment that is keeping you weak, and you know what those environments are. And keep your promises to yourself, no matter how you feel. That one is by far the most important one. When you start thinking like this, it stops becoming about optimizing your hormones, and it starts to become, how do I become the man who can actually control and command my hormones to do what I want them to do? As soon as you implement all 5 of these pillars, your testosterone won't just go up. You'll just actually be somebody worthy of having high testosterone. And that is what will allow you to have it and sustain it for as long as you're alive. So now all you gotta do is just apply these tips one day at a time, and the results will start to pour in. And if you didn't take notes in this video, go back and at least jot down the 5 core pillars so that you can start implementing this information immediately. And if you want more value, then watch this next video on screen, because YouTube thinks it's the best fit for you.